Things began to take an unexpected turn when the police got involved, bringing to light a series of secrets that Pedro and Sofia had kept hidden for so long. Until that moment, everything seemed under control, or at least Pedro thought it was. He and Sofia were living in a whirlwind of emotions, trying to understand what they felt for each other and what fate had in store for them. But the arrival of the police revealed a much more complex and darker reality than they could have ever imagined. At first, Pedro couldn't understand what was happening. The police appeared without warning, investigating the families of Pedro and Sofia, not entirely sure what they were looking for, but with one certainty: there was something deeper behind the story. As if an invisible layer had been removed, dark secrets began to surface. When the police finally revealed the information, Pedro was stunned by what he heard. These were not just rumors, they were facts that no one dared to speak of. The families of Pedro and Sofia were tied together by a history of rivalries and betrayals that went back decades. Pedro knew about the rivalry between his parents and Sofia's family, but he always considered it something distant, something he didn't need to worry about directly. He grew up hearing the older generation speak of the silent war that existed between the two families, but he never fully understood how much it impacted their lives. When the police started revealing the details, everything started to make sense, but at the same time, it seemed like a lie. What he had never known was that the tensions between the two families were much deeper and more personal than he had imagined. The most shocking revelation came when the police mentioned his own father's name, who, according to the investigations, had been directly involved in a series of actions against Sofia's father in the past. Pedro was in shock. His father, always the pillar of his family, the man he had always admired, was involved in things he had never known about. The police spoke of suspicious transactions, illegal business dealings, and even conspiracies that had been planned between the two families for many years. The most alarming part was that these plots had a direct impact on Sofia's life. Sofia, for her part, was as shaken as Pedro. She knew that her family's past was marked by shadows, but she never imagined that the connection with Pedro's family would be so complex. When the police revealed that her own father, the man she had always believed to be a distant and dark figure, was involved in a revenge game that dated back to his youth, Sofia felt the ground crumble beneath her feet. She had never known that her father's betrayals and decisions had such large and profound repercussions. All she knew was that her father always kept her away from any conversation about the past, always kept her distant from family matters. Now, hearing the truth from the police, Sofia realized in a way she had always been a piece in this game. The most disturbing thing about all of this was that, until that moment, Pedro and Sofia had been trying to build something together, without knowing the extent of what connected them, without knowing the weight of the families they carried. They both saw themselves as victims of their family's past, and the connection they were creating with each other seemed to be a refuge from what had happened before. But with the arrival of the police, everything seemed to collapse around them. Now, they had to face the reality that they were, in some way, intertwined not only by fate, but also by the choices their families had made a long time ago.